Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you're new to my channel, my name is Melissa and I'm a nursing student. So today's video is a highly requested video. I get asked how I study and what I use to study all of the time. I would have filmed this video a lot sooner, but I didn't know what format to make the video. I thought about filming myself studying, which I have done. I filmed myself studying for my nutrition final a few months ago, but today's video is going to be talking about what I do to study and how I study. It's not going to be an active video of me studying just because, as you're going to learn, I don't use one method to study. I'm kind of all over the place, but this video is going to be talking about what tools I use to study, what resources I use to study, how I manage my time, and just pretty much everything around studying for nursing school. And for this video, I will also put timestamps, so if you want to jump ahead to any parts of the video, you can go ahead and do that by looking in the little video strip below or by looking in the description box below. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to go over is my time management and my study schedule, so when I study. So if you've seen my previous videos, I feel like I mention this in literally every video, but I work full-time. So I work like a full-time 40-hour, sometimes more than 40-hour a week, Monday through Friday, like standard hours during the day. And that is my schedule. So everything else in my life, including school, especially school, is around my work schedule. So to be honest, I really do not study much during the week. If I am studying during the week, it's because either I have a day off, I have a random burst of energy, I have like an exam or a quiz that week. But typically what I will do is I will do my homework and try to get my homework done throughout the week in the evenings when I get off of work. And then I will save the bulk of my studying for the weekends. And now I'm also doing clinicals. I've started my clinical classes. So my clinicals are on the weekends, either Saturday or Sunday. So that already eliminates another day that I don't really spend studying because I have 12-hour clinicals and it is really difficult to study before clinicals or after clinicals. So far I've only had clinicals on Saturdays. So Sunday is really when I do most of my studying. So since I'm a morning person and Sundays are typically my study days, what I'll do is on Sunday mornings, my body will naturally wake me up between like 6 and 7 a.m. And I will just get out of bed. And the first thing that I do, of course, after I brush my teeth, wash my face, make my coffee, is I will go into my home office. My husband and I have a home office, and I will study from like 7 a.m. to noon or 2 p.m. So already just out the way, I'm not good at math. Already that's like 7 hours worth of studying. If I study from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m., which I often do, sometimes I'll take like a little 30-minute break for lunch. I don't like to take too long of a break because then I won't go back to studying. And I pretty much do that consistently every week. So I like to have a social life. I need to make time to see my friends and my family and to go out, even though I work full-time and I'm in school full-time. So if I do have a late night on Saturday and I want to sleep in on Sunday or just have a lazy Sunday morning with my husband, what I will do is I will go to the library. So the libraries around me open at 10 a.m. on Sundays. And it's not the one near my house. It's actually in a different county. But my favorite library is incredible. They have these study rooms where you have like this study cubby. So it's literally a quiet room. So it's isolated from the rest of the library. You have your own study cubby. So it's like you're literally in a box where you cannot be distracted. Like you have to make an active effort. My computer's went off. You have to make an active effort to get distracted at this library. So I like to go there just because I stay focused and I get a lot of studying done there. So what I'll typically do on Sunday mornings when I'm having a lazy morning is I will head to the library around 11, and I'll usually stay at the library from 11 to 4 p.m. and I get so much studying done and the time goes by so quickly and I really feel like I'm retaining information. So now I'm going to get into the tools that I use when I study, and this is going to be quick because I am 100% digital. This is the first degree and the first time in my academic career where I do not use a pencil and paper. For some homework assignments, we're required to use pencil and paper, but other than that, at least when it comes to studying, I'm totally digital. Before I started nursing school, I invested in this iPad, and I will actually link the iPad down below and all of the accessories that I got with it. This is my iPad. It's like very basic. I don't know what generation it is. This is my background. It is, I don't know if you guys can see, it's me and my husband in the Outer Banks. There's like a glare on the screen. So yeah, I use this iPad to take notes. I went online, I did research to find out what was the cheapest, most basic iPad that I could use to take notes for school. And this is what I bought. It's nothing crazy, nothing fancy. And of course I got a case for it. This is like a knockoff OtterBox case that I just got on Amazon. Like I said, I'll go ahead and link all of the accessories down below. And then in my little pencil pouch, which I also got from Amazon, I got this Apple Pencil. I'm not sure what this is, but this is what I use to actually take notes. But I am a huge advocate for the iPad. Obviously, I'm not sponsored by anything. This is just what I like to use. This to me is so much better, so much neater. It holds an amazing charge. And then the laptop that I use is also not fancy at all. I don't even know if they still sell this because it's so old, but I don't use Mac. Even though I have an iPad, I'm not like a total Apple person. I use my little HP Pavilion. It is very old. I used it for my second degree. This is now my third degree. So I probably got it over 5 years ago at this point. But like, I don't know if you guys can see. This is supposed to have like grippers on it so that it doesn't slide all over the place. There's supposed to be 4. All 4 of them fell off. This is a hole inside of my laptop. I guess it got smashed in one of my old book bags. So the battery also doesn't work very well. This thing will last without the plug in it for maybe 20 minutes before it dies. So I have to keep it plugged in. But I am determined not to spend money. And I've told myself once I graduate, I will probably invest, at that point, I'll probably invest in a Mac laptop, just so that all of my stuff is Apple, because my phone is an iPhone. I have the iPad, so it makes sense to get a Mac, but I don't want to spend money. So this is my laptop open. I know there's a massive glare. I don't know if you guys can see, but my background is also me and my husband. We're on vacation in Savannah, Georgia. I call her Old Faithful because, like I showed you guys, she has been through a lot and she's still kicking, she's still working. And I'm pretty confident that she's going to get me through the rest of nursing school. So if you're looking to get a laptop and you are not into Apple products, I know they're super popular, HP is amazing and their laptops are clearly extremely durable. So I don't take notes in my laptop. I pretty much only take notes in my tablet. I will take my tablet to class with me, and this is what I use to actually study. And then my books are also completely digital, so I have access to all of my textbooks on my tablet and on my laptop. So usually what I will do if I'm at home or if I'm at the library is I'll have my laptop open with my book open, and then I'll be taking notes in my tablet. But I also have the ability to do a split screen. Since there's such a massive glare, I can't really show you guys, but typically if you are familiar with like having a tablet or anything like that, you can do the split screen where I can split it, where half of my screen is the textbook and I can scroll up and down and flip pages, and then the other half of my screen is where I'm taking notes. So it makes it super easy for me to be reading and then taking notes as I go along. And then if I'm using videos to study or PowerPoints or lectures or anything like that, I will use my laptop for those things. So those are all of the actual, at least electronic tools that I actually use to study. Okay, so last, and what I think is probably the most important thing, are the resources that I use to study. So first off, I will say, obviously I'm not sponsored, I'm not in partnership. These are things that I actually use to study. The main source that I use, or the main resource that I use to study, is Simple Nursing. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Simple Nursing. It is incredible. They have a YouTube channel where you can watch all of their videos for free. And I do, of course, watch all of their videos on YouTube for free, but I also spend money for their subscription. I will put the link to their website down in my description box, and I'll put the link to all of my resources down in the description box. But honestly, the primary resource that I use to study is Simple Nursing. They're incredible. I go online and I watch their YouTube videos, which are available for free, by the way. If you want to check them out, if you are not familiar with them, you definitely should. They break down each topic so simple. Like, it's just, they make it so simple. They do animations, they give you mnemonic devices, they give you acronyms, just different memory tips. They're so incredible, and They will take the time to tell you certain topics will likely be on your nursing exam, and they also take the time to tell you that certain topics may not be tested in your classes, but you will definitely see them on the NCLEX. So I haven't taken the NCLEX yet, but I could imagine that they would also be a really good resource to study for the NCLEX. So yeah, they do have free videos up on YouTube, like I mentioned. You can go on YouTube and you can watch their videos for free. I actually pay a subscription. So they have different subscriptions, I guess, different tiers to their subscription. I personally pay $40 a month. And to me, it's so well worth it. But I pay $40 a month and I have access to go on their website. I have access to all of their videos. They have quizzes, they have study guides, they have so many resources. So most of my studying, honestly, when I'm in class, so I will use diabetes as an example. So if we're studying diabetes in class, of course I will take notes in lecture. When I go home to study, I will type in, like I'll go onto Simple Nursing's website, I will type in diabetes, and I will watch all of the videos that they have on diabetes multiple times. Same thing with hyper and hypoglycemia. If I'm learning about that in school, pretty much any topic that I'm learning about in school, I will go onto Simple Nursing's website, I will type in the subject, and I will watch every single video that they have on that subject. I will watch it multiple times, I will take their quizzes, and that really, really helps me understand literally everything. I would say the second resource that I use to study, so number one by far is Simple Nursing. The second resource that I have been using to study recently is also a YouTube channel, and this is Level Up RN. It is a licensed, or she is, I said it. She is a licensed nurse. She has different credentials and she just will break down different topics. So again, what I do, whatever I'm learning in class, I will come home, I will go onto her channel and I will see if she has a video talking about what I'm learning in school. And she is just amazing. Her videos are short. I've seen a video as short as 3 minutes, and I think the longest one I've seen is like 10 to 15 minutes. But she really does a good job of breaking things down and simplifying topics. This is so bad, but I'm being completely transparent with you guys. The third most resource, or the most utilized resource for me, are my class notes. So it's really bad because, especially at Chamberlain, tuition is so expensive. And I feel like from my professors and from class lecture, that's the third resource that I use. Really, I feel like Simple Nursing and Level Up RN should be getting like my tuition money, because I feel like they're really, all nursing students, I feel like we use them so much, they're incredible. But the third resource that I use are my class notes. So it really is important for me to attend class, obviously, but actually to be engaged in class and be involved in class discussions, because I really do learn a lot when I'm in lecture. So the notes that I take, I like to refer back to them. And I'll typically review my notes kind of every other day. Just as I have free time in the evening or before bed, I'll whip out my phone, I'll look at my notes on my phone, or I'll whip out my tablet and I'll just kind of review what I learned in class, especially during the week. So like if I have class on Tuesday night, typically the next night, Wednesday, I'll just really quickly read through my notes that I took the night before just to keep it fresh in my mind. And then when I'm doing the bulk of my studying on the weekends, that is when I'm utilizing the outside resources like Simple Nursing and Level Up RN. The next resource, and I'm literally going in order, but the next resource that I use besides like my class notes that I took myself from lectures are PowerPoints and Brainshark videos. If you don't go to Chamberlain, if you are not familiar with Brainshark videos, they're just like virtual lectures. So it's the professors from Chamberlain, they will record videos talking about, you know, different topics or talking about what you should be learning that week. So that is another resource that I use. I definitely use my professor's PowerPoints, usually more than the Brainshark. It just depends on who my professor is and what course I'm taking. Some of my professors are amazing and they will make their PowerPoints condensed to like maybe 20 slides. Other professors will literally have a slideshow of like 150 slides. So if I have a professor like that, I don't even touch the PowerPoint, because to me that's not helpful. I mean, I don't want to sound mean. It's nice for them to take time to put together a slideshow if they're the ones creating the PowerPoint, but I personally cannot do much with a 150-page slideshow. I don't have time to sort through that. So if I have an amazing professor that took the time to condense it to like 20 slides, then yes, I will look at the slides, because I feel like their exam, like a lot of the questions from the exam will probably be coming from the information that's on the slideshow. So I do take the time to look at that resource. And then again, depending on the professor, it depends on whether or not I actually utilize the Brainsharks. I've had professors where a lot of the material for the exams and for the course will come from the information in the Brainshark. And then I've had other professors where I will spend maybe 4 hours in a week listening to Brainsharks, and then what was on the Brainshark has nothing to do with what's on the exam. So if I hear that a professor's Brainsharks and their exams are kind of disconnected, then I don't even bother with that. Like my strategy totally depends on what course I'm taking and who my professor is. So the next resource that I use is the book, which I do use the book. Again, this all depends on who my professor is and what course I'm taking. But for the most part, the book is one of the last resources that I use, just because the same way that I can't really do much with 150-page PowerPoint or 150 slide PowerPoint, the book just has so much information. So typically I only use the book if there's a really difficult topic or a really high yield topic. I will go and I will use every single resource that I have. So the first thing that I will do after I listen to that topic being covered in lecture is I'll go home, I'll watch videos on the topic, I will look at PowerPoints on the topic, and then the next thing that I will do is I will open up my book and I will specifically search for that topic. I very rarely just sit down and ever read my book. Typically, if I'm opening up my book, I am looking for a specific topic just to see how the book defines it, to see different diagrams or different tables on that topic. So the book is a resource that I use, but it's not necessarily my go-to, and I'm not really learning from the book. The book is kind of like an added resource for me. At least that's how I use it. And then the last resource that I use are study groups with my classmates. I just started doing study groups last session when I started taking Adult Health 1, which is Med-Surg. If you don't go to Chamberlain, our Med-Surg is called Adult Health, and it's split into 2 parts. So we have Med-Surg Part 1 and Med-Surg Part 2. I'm currently in Med-Surg Part 2, but so I just started a study group with one of my classmates. So it's me and her. We're reviewing every week. And then last session or last class, I had a study group. It was like a small group of us, and we would meet once a week just to go over topics. Since my school is in Northern Virginia and I have classmates that live in Virginia, Maryland, DC, and even Pennsylvania, and we're an evening and weekend program, most of us are older, have work, have kids. It's very difficult to get together in person. So all of my study groups so far have been virtual. I just started meeting on Facebook Messenger. Apparently Facebook has a setting where you can have videos and share screens, and it is so amazing because it's free. And unlike Zoom and other paid websites that have free options, with Zoom you're limited to what you can do. You can only meet, I think, for like 45 minutes before it cuts off. It's just nonsense. So my advice, if you guys have Facebook, and I've only used Facebook with a one-on-one study session, so I don't know how it would work with a group. But at least this session, it's just me and one other classmate. We've met on Facebook Messenger, and it was so easy and so amazing. And we just literally went over topics that we are going to be learning in class. So like this week, we have class on Tuesdays. We met virtually on Monday, and we went over all the different topics that we were going to be learning in class the next day. That way, when we get to class, we already had a baseline knowledge of what we were going to be learning. So it was just a little bit easier to retain the information. In the past, I've done it the opposite way. So I would actually meet at the end of the week, and we would review the topics that we learned that week. So we would learn topics in class, and then at the end of the week, I would meet with my study group, and we would just review the topics that we already learned. And to be honest, I think both ways are fine. Whether you are meeting with your study group before you learn the material or right after you learn the material, the benefit of meeting before you learn the material is that once you get into class, you kind of already know what the professor's talking about, and it just makes it a little bit easier to learn the information from your professor. And then the benefit of doing it after you've already learned the material in class is that you're taking the time to review what you've learned. That way it helps to stick in your mind. I don't think that one way is better than another. I've done it both ways and I think both are very beneficial. Okay, so that is how I study in nursing school. Those are all the different resources and tools that I use. I am going to say that I'm not a straight A student, but even though I work full time and I'm in an accelerated program, I still have above a 3.0, and I've never failed a class in school, knock on wood, by the grace of God. So those are all the things that I do just to help me stay afloat, help keep my GPA up, and help make sure that I'm doing well in my classes. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave a comment down below. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see me make an actual detailed video of how I study and how I take notes, also comment down below because I wouldn't mind filming that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.